Hey everyone, and welcome to the recap of day 13 in the Karen Reed case. A day I said in my day 12 recap was very important for the defense because Sergeant Bukaki seems to be the only sergeant, trooper, MSP agent they will call to try and defend this very bad investigation into the murder of John O'Keefe. I had trepidations because AJ has kind of a way of getting a little too emotional, angry, confrontational. I don't know what the words I would use about him is, but we saw it with Jen. He kind of lost it. And then when he came back after a day off, he was so much better. I think I said that I hoped he would go back with Alessi, really dig into it, get ready, and be ready to go. And let's just say I was wrong. AJ was ready. What we saw yesterday is probably some of the best cross-examination I have seen of a guy who didn't want to tell you if the sky was blue or black. Every single thing ended up being like herding cats while you're pulling teeth. I don't know why they haven't prepped him to be a little endearing, a little, hey, I'm a nice guy, I'm the good trooper. Why have you prepped him to be an asshole? I've said it a lot of times, and a lot of people out there thinks cases is about law. No. When you have a criminal case in front of a jury, the law is a sideshow. The real thing is those 12 people who will sit in a room at the end of the trial will go by their gut feeling. They're not lawyers. They don't care if Rule 14 or Brady or Maryland v. Hostokovsky is in rule. They only care what they felt when they sat there, saw, that made sense because I kind of liked that person, or why was he so antagonistic? What are they trying to hide? And if you watched Bukaki yesterday, everyone who potentially can be in that room the last day must have in their notes, why is he acting like this? He didn't speak English all of a sudden. Hey, shout out for my other third language English-speaking audience. But it's a really good joke when I use it, when Plevin makes fun of me. It's a really bad joke when someone who lived in the Americas since he was 9 years old, who served his 4 years enlistment in the Marines and kind of tried and held it up like, oh, I am G.I. Joe, who is a state trooper. He is sitting there saying, I don't know what the word theory means. Then it's not cute, then it's incompetence. Because if you have held this position for this long and you don't understand the word theory that you yourself used in a sentence 2 seconds before, you show the world that you're an idiot. You're a willful idiot. And there's nothing worse, in my opinion, in front of a group of people who will look at you, and most of what they will remember is not what you said. They will take their notes, they will say, but when they get back there, they'll say, so we had this guy who talked about this piece of evidence. Who was that? Oh, yeah, that weird Bukaki guy. Why was he so shifty? Yeah, I don't buy it. He was so badly prepared to meeting an Alan Jackson who has changed since the last trial. They have prepared him to do exactly the thing I was afraid Alan Jackson would jump on. They have tried to antagonize him so he would get into a shouty match. He would back into a corner and let the witness yell over and over again, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. But that didn't happen. Alan Jackson, my hat's off. You have learned. I know it's deep into your career. I can only see you in the light of the first trial, and I thought sometimes you had a big problem that you kind of let the witness take over. But yesterday was a masterclass. You got Bukaki to put in so much reasonable doubt about how this investigation was done. Did you look at anything other than the girl? Nope. Did you know he had a flirtatious text message with Karen Reed? I wouldn't call it flirtatious. They are literally, and hey, between me and you, brother man, Higgins, as a guy who is perpetually single, I can tell you, when a lady asks if you want to come over and sleep, it's not because she wants someone to make her bed the next day. It's because she wants someone who will help her make dents in the mattress. I know it's 2025 and ladies could communicate a little clearer, but you won't get a map with 2 red arrows pointing and saying, I want you in here. You have to kind of do the math yourself. If they send you a picture of her in an undressed state, it's not because she wants you to check for moles. Just as a man who doesn't pick up signals that easy either, if she tells you almost clear writing, I want you to rock my world for 13 seconds, you don't write her back, haha, you write, oh my. That was Higgins, the worst pickup guy in the world. And why did I say that? Because we got the full text exchange between Karen Reed and Brian Higgins. Last year, they had cut out a lot of stuff, and oh my God, the cringe. That guy couldn't take a hint if the hint was smacking him in the face with a shovel. She wanted to ride your bone because she was hurt. She felt John had stepped out on her and she wanted to get back. We know this. Is it the first woman in history who has gone and tried to get another man's attention because she felt she didn't get it at home? Nope. If it had been the other way around, would he have been the first man in history who had gone looking for a little confirmation? Nope. Does that make her a killer? Nope. Because she ghosted your ass so hard. And you tried. But no cop thought that that could be interesting, that you might have a motive because you were romantically interested in her. Nope. Super Trooper Bukaki said, I don't know anything. They didn't know about most of the evidence, even evidence they got last year. They didn't want to test any of it. It was just pin it on the girl. But in what was probably one of the weirdest things in the entire trial, and the text messages was the cringiest, his inability to answer a question was the most infuriating. But what was some of the strangest we have seen in these 13 days is we now found out where Chloe was. Sergeant Bukaki have gone and talked to Chloe. Maybe. Because Chloe is not with the person that got Chloe somewhere at a rest stop halfway between Massachusetts and Vermont. Chloe is not even Chloe anymore. She's now Cora. Apparently, she's with a new family. I didn't pick up that the family was veterinarians, but they had 4 pieces of veterinarian paper that testified to this is Cora, formerly known as Chloe. How did you test it? Do you have a written affidavit? Do you have an address? Do you have the names of the people who owns it? Nope. It's just, well, yeah, this is the dog. I don't know about you. I grew up in a house where my dad had dogs. We had mutts, and then we had beagles later on. We had an American beagle, and then we had a British beagle. There's a slight difference in size. But if I've never seen Eddie, who was our first American beagle, and I then was shown a picture of Mickey, who was our second British beagle, and I was told, no, Mickey is Eddie. We just changed his name. What does that prove? Well, I have 4 sheets of paper from a veterinarian's office that says beagle have a lot of problem with their ears. Cute dogs, dumb as a doorbell, but they're cute dogs. But they get ear infections really easy. So if you're giving me 4 sheets of paper that 4 times you had been getting the for your beagle, no name, no address, no house, no nothing, how am I supposed to know it was Mickey and not Eddie? How could I tell the difference? This is probably the stupidest thing. And after yesterday, dear aunties, I know not a lot of you are watching. I have one person who leaves a message every day. Dear aunties, even if you think Karen is the most guilty person in the world, watching the absolute crap level of investigation that went into John O'Keefe's death, how can you still support the MSP and the CPD? Let's disagree on Karen Read's guilt, but at least if you're honest, if you're not one of those paid shills, hey, couch money is good money, you can't tell me this is a good investigation. You can't tell me that you think they have done justice by John O'Keefe. If you do that, you are one of 3 persons, and I hold up 4 fingers because I'm an idiot. You're one of 3 people. You're Caffy Daffy, you're Krusty, or you're Plevin. And why do they do it? Wonder why. Something about some communications that was disclosed at some point. But anyone else, no matter how you see Karen Read, should be infuriated. This is how they treat a brother in blue. They don't give a fuck. They had the girl. Just pin it on the girl. But let's it's Saturday. End on a happy note because, you know, I'm kind of a big deal. I pull some string. I, as the first person outside of the courtroom, I have the certification that proves Chloe is Cora. It's a signed certificate. See, totally true certificate. To Pukaki from Cora, the former German Shepherd. So have a nice weekend. Join me and Sleuthy Goosey tomorrow, Sunday, when we'll be talking Karen Read. Hope to see you all soon.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Ken!